Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back. Today we're going to do another chit chat video where I talk about everything under the sun. Just like whatever comes to mind. I want to talk to you about a couple of movies, and that might go off into my childhood. And yeah, I mean, I'm all over the place as usual. And if you're up for it, then just keep watching. Somebody ran off with my magnifying glass, so I don't know how I'm going to see stuff today other than to just keep putting my glasses on and off, and that's annoying. For those people who are wondering, because you've always asked me about my kitty ears, and in particular the Mel ears. These aren't the ones, but the Mel ears that I bought her are over there. But as you know, they're missing a few things, and these will be too soon, because I mean, they're just little cheapo ears for Halloween. They're at Walmart now. I have been watching movies like crazy because I've not been filming because of what's going on next door. I finally gave in. You'll hear it probably. You'll probably hear. So if I get hot, I'm going to turn on the fan because Shy Guy's here. He's got a day off, so you may hear him out there. And my neighbor is redoing his house, so he's got a contractor next door, and I haven't been filming because I've been waiting on them to quit that, but it's obvious they're not going to quit that. So warning, in case I get off topic and start talking about my childhood, I got a comment from one of you. The Fritzy family lost one, which we do this all the time. They usually just don't tell me why they left, which I prefer to know why. I like gain 10, lose 6. Gain 4, lose 5. It's tit for tat with me, always. Anywho, that has nothing to do with anything. I just basically wanted to put this out there for anybody else who feels like this, because I basically told this girl I was going to do that. So she unsubscribed because I keep doing Get Ready With Me's and talking about my... I forget exactly what she said. Tired of hearing about your charmed life. It's a trigger for her, and I don't know. It could be a trigger for someone else. So this is a warning before my Get Ready With Me's now. I'm letting people know that if I'm chit-chatting, I might talk about my wonderful childhood. I might talk about my wonderful life. So here's your chance. I might do that. I mean, obviously, I'm probably not going to talk about my childhood during an empties video or a favorites video, but you know, there's a good chance that I'm going to go off topic or just purposefully talk about something from my childhood in a Get Ready With Me, a chit chat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, many people do not subscribe to beauty channels to hear chit chat about people's family life or whatever. I guess it's insensitive of me to not realize that some people did not grow up like I did and had a horrible childhood. So from now on, if I'm doing a Get Ready With Me and it's a chit chat Get Ready With Me, I think it's safe to assume that I will be talking about things that might be triggers for some people. There you go. I'm just using things from the wasted basket. Not going to talk about what I'm doing or what it is. If you want to know, I'll link the last wasted video up here. So anyway, it's been a year since Daddy died. We all got together at my mom's and had a celebration of life. And then we watched a movie together and got some pizza, you know, just all of us girls, in hopes of lightening the mood a little bit. And we've all been looking forward to watching this movie. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you, like me, couldn't wait to see it, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I haven't got to do my eyes first. Anyway, so the movie that I'm talking about, in case you're wondering about the title of the video, it's 2 movies. I just thought that was kind of cute, right? So I watched So Cold, the River, and The Leisure Seeker, and I'm going to tell you what I think about those. All right, so let's start with So Cold, the River, because me and my fam had been like waiting to see this movie. The reason is because West Baden and French Lick are really important to me, my mom, and my sister. We twirled at French Lick and West Baden. In West Baden Hotel, at the time when I was there and twirled, it wasn't a hotel. They have since renovated this thing. And I mean, it is unbelievable, just gorgeous. I've already talked about twirling at West Baden. I know I did, because I'm pretty sure I gave a history of West Baden I don't know, in all the videos that I have, if I could ever find that again. I found it. It's linked below in case you're interested in watching it. But yeah, doing that played an important, role for me. French Lick was my first trophy that I got. Here's one of the reasons that I have to get my hair cut soon, because I am playing with it. I hate that. I hate that when I'm watching a video and the person keeps doing this and playing with their hair. I'm doing that now, and my mom told me the other day, it's time to get your hair cut. You're playing with your hair. I go, I know. I hate that. Anyway, it's quite the experience twirling with that atrium above you, because you throw that baton up in the air and then it better be where you think it should be, because you can't see. You will be blinded by the light coming in on the atrium. We were wanting to watch this movie really bad because this movie is all about that era. And it's not real, and this doesn't really happen, but there is such a thing as Pluto water. And my sister has an original bottle. All of us read the book, except for my aunt. Now, I didn't read it. I listened to it on Audible. This is the first one that I've ever had where they made sounds. They would do train sounds when they were talking about the train, and you could hear the wind coming in. And I mean, I loved this audiobook so much. I'm so glad I experienced it through the audiobook, not actually reading the book. The print on that is so small, and it's grayish color instead of black, so it's just really hard to read. My aunt didn't read the book, and that's why. So she had no idea what was going to be going on with this, but me and my mom and sister, we did, because we read the book. If you read the book, actually, don't even bother if you didn't. It's horrible. My aunt hated it, and I kept thinking, what is happening here? In my opinion, if you watched this movie, and you didn't, because I can tell you right now, if you read the book, you hate this movie. It just... You're going, what? I mean, they made the main character, Eric, is Erica. It's a girl. We're trying to figure out why. Why did you have to change this thing so drastically? And if it was a good movie even, maybe you'd be like, okay, well, it didn't follow the book, but it was still a really good movie. No. But, they were doing really stupid things, like when was the last time that you were in a hotel and you could smoke in the lobby? The timeline is present day. You're not allowed to smoke in the casino there in French Lick. You're not allowed to smoke in the West Baden Hotel, in the lobby, or anywhere else. It should be titled So Awful, the Movie. What the heck? If I'm wrong about that, let me know, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. They changed so much of it. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give it away for people who haven't seen it, who want to see it, but I just think you're going to be disappointed if you rent this movie. Just wait till it's like out on Netflix or something where you can just watch it for free. Don't pay to watch this movie is what I'm saying. But anyway, I remember twirling in what is now the West Baden Hotel in that atrium. There's a few places from my childhood. See, here I go into my childhood now. There's a few places that I remember twirling. Two that stand out the most is West Baden, twirling in that atrium, because, I mean, it was so big, and back then there was nothing in there. So, like now, I'm sure it still echoes because it's just so huge, but back then there wasn't all this stuff like couches and stuff like that to absorb sound. When you're twirling, you're dependent on knowing when in certain parts of the music, you might take a change in tempo or whatever, and now you're doing arm rolls and stuff like that. So you kind of need to hear your music. And in that hotel, because it was like that, because there was nothing in there to absorb all this sound, and it was so mammoth and huge, I couldn't hear the music very well. So add that to not being able to see where the baton was because of the atrium and the light coming in. It's a pretty memorable experience. Loved it. I was so interested and wanted to go up in those. What are those? What are those? Well, they're rooms. And you're like, I want to go in there. Of course you can't. But, tell a child that. Show them that and then tell them they can't go there. And also, I'm pretty sure I talked about this before too, twirling at Butler University. I remember that one because my costume that was being made for me wasn't done yet. So my mom bought a Danskin leotard. And let me tell you, I know I've already said this, so I'm sorry if I'm boring some people, but to this day, that costume was my favorite costume. And all it was a Danskin navy blue leotard that my mom put rhinestones on. I wish I hadn't done that. I don't like that. She put those rhinestones all over, and I don't know how many there were. Because it was just a Danskin leotard, it rode up on the one side real bad. Like I could look up in the bleachers and see my mom and dad there, but just above my parents were these two boys up in the bleachers, and they were catcalling because my butt cheek is out, and I remember being on the floor twirling and seeing my dad go up the bleachers after those boys. Another reason that I remember Butler really well was because I was out practicing in like the corridor, and I had this thing in my routine where I was supposed to throw the baton up in the air, do an illusion, and then catch the baton behind my leg. Now, I know that that probably doesn't mean anything. I will see if I can find a video because they have twirlers on YouTube. What happened was my little cousin, who at the time I think she was like 3 or 4, she come walking up behind me while I was practicing. And when I went to do this, my leg comes swinging over, and on the down, got her. I mean, I clocked her good with my leg, and she went flying across the floor, whoom, all the way back, you know, I mean, just, and oh, I felt so bad. I didn't mean to, but she just got away from my aunt and just got right behind me just about that time when my leg came down and got her. So Butler sticks out for me for a couple of reasons. That's also where I graduated from X-ray school. My graduation was at Butler. I guess that's all I got to say about that. But the thing is that I do have a good movie for you that you might like. And that's called The Leisure Seekers. I want to hear from you guys who own RVs. Shy Guy and I are thinking about it. We're thinking about getting a fifth wheel and traveling the country when we retire, and, you know, maybe before then, maybe little trips before then. And so, you know, what are some of the things that we should be looking for or at, or pros and cons of it that you know of? I would appreciate hearing about your experiences with RVs or fifth wheels. Mainly we're looking at a fifth wheel because we have a pickup truck to haul a fifth wheel. So this movie, The Leisure Seeker, talk about a sleeper. This movie was made a couple years ago. It has Donald Sutherland and Helen Mirren, I think. That's who's in this movie. This movie is really good. You know how Terms of Endearment has a little bit of everything. It's a drama, and it's a comedy, and it's a tearjerker. I shed a tear, but I didn't bawl my head off like I did for Terms of Endearment. But me and Shy Guy both really liked it. It's got a good soundtrack. What it is it's this older couple. They go on their last trip in this RV, and it's engineered by her for a reason. If you watch this movie, I want you to think about me when you get to the part where she's on a motorcycle. Just saying. Ella, what are you doing on that motorcycle? I want you to think about that. But anyway, it's on Hulu, and I couldn't help, even though it's not the same situation at all, I couldn't help but draw kind of a parallel, because I've been going over on Fridays to watch the trips that my mom and my dad took when they were RVing, and I really super regret having not done this while my daddy was alive. I try to get everything I need done during the week so that Friday I can go over there and just spend time going through these movies with my mom. It's nice because I get to hear my dad's voice again, see him again. I get to see my mom when she didn't need a cane to walk. This is awful. I can't get this blended out. It's like sticking to me for some reason. It just won't blend. This is my favorite part of the week, is coming over there and watching the videos of my mom and dad going on these trips. I kind of want to do this now. And this movie is this older couple. He was a professor at a college, and he loves Hemingway. I can't remember if she had a job where she left the house, or if she had the hardest unpaid job of being a homemaker. I've been that before. It's harder than any of the jobs that I had where I went out and earned a paycheck. Ow. Well, that's just wonderful. So anyway, they take off in their RV that really needs service. Wow, for one last adventure, and their kids are beside themselves because their parents are like, out in this RV. And I don't want to tell you any more than that. Just know that this is a really good movie, and I think it's worth a watch. You guys might have as good a time as Shy Guy and I did, just singing the soundtrack. You know, we were having a really good time singing to Bobby McGee, both of us. I will tell you one more thing about that movie, though, because it just brings back so many memories of things when you watch it. One of the things that they would do in the RV park was set up their slide projector. Did you guys watch slides, or did your parents take movies, like 8mm movies, and watch those? Or did you guys do both? Recently, I just got my mom and dad's 8mm movie projector and a box full of 8mm films. One of them, I mean, of course, family movies, but one of them is Howdy Doody. I remember watching that. Daddy would set up the slide projector in the living room with a sheet. We'd get our popcorn and our Coke, and we would get to watch Howdy Doody and some family, you know, whatever family movies were back from being developed. Oh. My dad was really, really into music. And a couple of things I want to show you. Who remembers what this is? This one here doesn't have a label on it, but what it is the cleaning one. Do you remember having to clean the 8-tracks? And I brought home 2 others because, you know, Elvis. I mean, really? Who doesn't love Elvis still? Have you guys seen that movie? Okay, I saw the Elvis movie. We can talk about that too on another one if you want. And Eddie Rabbit. Okay, because sometime in the 70s, there was Eddie Rabbit and a few others, but mainly at that particular time, the draw was him, Eddie Rabbit. And I just so happened to be someone who got to get let in with my parents beforehand, so we got a really, really good seat up front for this concert to see these people. So we're there. It's an outdoor concert with our lawn chairs. I know I'm repeating stories now, but some of you are new, and I can't even tell you where to go look for this stuff on my channel, but I have told it before, how the girl stabbed at me through the lawn chair. They were trying to inch in closer so that they could see Eddie Rabbit, and my lawn chair's in their way. So they just decided that they would crowd, and I reared it back. And when I did, this girl behind me took a knife and went through my lawn chair. And then I called her a name, and that started a fight, and everybody's throwing punches, and yeah. Anyway, so I had to have that. But did you have an 8-track player? I'm talking about the ones that it's not part of the dash. You bought an 8-track player and put it in under your dash. That's the kind I had. And I remember another time I was driving down the road, and I had the 8-track in that was Eyes of Laura Mars. Did you guys ever have that soundtrack? The soundtrack of Eyes of Laura Mars. Kind of spooky, right? I'm on my way home from downtown, and there's one song on this 8-track. It begins with the sound of a police car. Sirens. And I pull off the road and start looking around for the cops. And it's the soundtrack. And I must have heard it a million times, and yet still pulled over thinking a cop was pulling me over. Then try to get back in the traffic line on that road after being pulled over by myself. Another thing that we came across in all that music, well, we didn't come across it. My mom came across it and had them there when we got there that day. Were these cassette tapes, To Mary from Grandma, Trip Around the World, parts 1 and 2. I have been looking for those for so long, and I could not find them, and I'm telling you, I was upset. And even more so than the Valentine card that I looked for forever, because I've got an original Valentine's card that my papa gave my grandma in 1935, and I put this thing up so that I would never lose it, and then I couldn't remember where it was. Now tell me why that hiding place was our taxes. So that's where I found it, was in with the taxes. Thank goodness I found that. But anyway, I've been looking for these tapes even longer than that. Long time ago, I made what is now known as a family video, you know, to music and stuff. You know how you make family videos with iMovie or something and then show them to the family and stuff? That's what I did with a VHS camera. And I watched it. I couldn't even laugh at myself because for that time, and having no computer or anything, I did a bang-up job on that. I made it for my dad's birthday. I thought it would be wonderful for him if he could hear his mom's voice again. When I was a kid, there was no videos with sound. He can watch 8mm movies of his mom and see her, but he can't hear her. But because I had those tapes, I've got her voice recorded. On these 2 tapes, she's telling me the stories about when her and Papa went around the world. So I've got my grandma's voice on here, and I make a birthday tape of all Dad's kids, his grandkids, and pictures of his mom and stuff to music with a VHS camera, which is a lot harder than you might think. The video opens with my grandma when she was 18 years old and had graduated from high school. That picture, it opens with that and her voice. And I spliced together her voice. She was saying on this cassette something about how priceless the tape recorder is. That she can make this tape for me so that in future generations or whatever, they can hear her voice. I clipped this one part out of there and made that video. Anyway, when he realized that I had these tapes with her voice on them, he wanted to hear them. So I took them over there. That's where they've been this whole time. Okay, not loving the look, but I don't care. Okay, I'm gonna go do my hair and I'll be right back. I want to let you guys know that if you don't know, you're the best part of the Fritzy family. And if you're not having a blessed day, the way you get one is to be a blessing to somebody else. So yeah, go do that. Until next time, love you, see ya. Bye. And I'm out.
Another wasted drop of my precious Lancome elixir. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And now I have broke up this pad somehow. I don't know why these ones do that, but yeah. Breaking up's not hard to do. Talk about being blinded by the light. The baton's in the air and you can't see a thing. Memories of the days I twirled baton. Really painful memories of when I clocked my cousin. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, my body, Mickey. But just know that it probably will make you shed a tear, you know. It's going to take a piece of your heart, baby. Okay, I know. I'm on the Janice thing now. On the Janice train now. Just take a little piece of my heart now, baby. It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time. La 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 la. I don't remember the rest. You don't say nothing because, you know, it's a trap, right? Oh, speaking of, I'm caught in a trap. I can't walk out. Because I love you too much, baby. Ooh. Moody blue. I don't know why I'm singing these songs and not in chronological. Blah, blah, blah. And until next time, love you, see ya, bye. And I'm out. That was all what? These hands? These hands won't do what they're supposed to at the right time.